Well, hello there, and good afternoon. Today, on my talk show, Ada Lately, I have the pleasure to interview the very talented Miss Sarah Rule, whose play, The Clean House, was a Pulitzer Prize finalist in 2005. Hello, Miss Rule. Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about where you came from and how you got to be a playwright?
Hi, it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm a huge fan of your show. Well, I grew up in Wilmot, Illinois, and at first my dream was to be a poet, but a professor of mine at Brown University convinced me to switch to playwriting, and well, I've been writing ever since.
Yes. Your play in the next room, or The Vibrator play, marked your Broadway debut on November 2009. In the Next Room was a finalist for the 2010 Pulitzer Prize for Drama and was nominated for the 2010 Tony Award for Best Play, Best Featured Actress, and Best Costume. Congratulations. Can you tell us a little bit about this play?
It was about the history of the vibrator, a unique moment at the dawn of the age of electricity when doctors who had actually been manually stimulating their patients to cure them of hysteria, they would suddenly use a vibrator. So what had taken hours before now took a matter of minutes. The book, The Technology of Orgasm, was my inspiration for this play. One physician quoted it in the book, and he argued that at least three-fourths of women had disorders that could be cured by the vibrator, which is kind of stunning. The economy for vibrators, even then, was vast. I mean, it was $1 million enterprise. Quite fascinating.
Fantastic. What I love is that you seem to have a very romantic yet realistic way of writing, and I find that you have contributed so much to theatre because you deal with real issues of today's generation. For example, your play Dead Man's Cell Phone premiered in New York City's at Playwrights Horizon in 2008. The play explores technology and this disconnect people are experiencing in the digital age. What was your inspiration behind the play?
Well, cell phones, iPods, wireless computers, it will change people in ways we don't even understand. We're less connected to the present. No one knows where they really are. There's absolutely no reason to talk to a stranger anymore. You connect to people you already know. But how well do you really know them? Because you never see them, you just talk to them. I find that terrifying.
That's very nice. Tell us about a play that has the most significance to you, personally.
Well, I think it would definitely have to be Eurydice. Eurydice was my own version of the classic Eurydice and Orpheus tale, and it portrays a sort of Alice in Wonderland-esque underworld. The reason why it's my favorite play was because I wrote in honor of my father, who passed away in 1984 because of cancer. And this play was kind of a way for me to have a few more conversations with him and express some stuff that I never got to.
Very endearing. I must admit, what is so important about Miss Rule's work is that there's a regaining of theatre out of that mishmash of assumptions made by realism. Assumptions that were not even theatrical issues in previous centuries. Rule's play, The Melancholy Play, is in conversation with Freud, and yet it does not lead to a surface reality that clings to the Stanislavski method of performance. For Rule, it's putting things up against Freud. In Melancholy Play, one character is so depressed that she turns into an element. Clever. Rule has often said that if you dig people's subjectivity and how they view the world emotionally, you do not get realism. Oh, bugger. Bloody hell, I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you so much again, Miss Rule, and I hope to see you again. Oh, goody, we're back again. This time I will be interviewing a theatre major who has chosen to do a monologue from Sarah Rule's Eurydice. Hello, and welcome to my show. Please introduce yourself and tell us why exactly you have chosen Sarah Rule and her work.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm definitely a huge fan of your show. Um, well, the reason why I chose Sarah Rule and her work, specifically Eurydice, is that Sarah has a very realistic way of writing. But what I mean by that is she deals with real issues of today's generation, but she's not afraid to not use realism in her writing. So many playwriters feel like they must use realism, but she's not one of them, and that's very unique. Eurydice is a perfect example of that. What I love about this play is that transformation of space. The emotional space changes in this play. The monologue that I'll be doing from this play is at the end of the play where Eurydice writes a letter to her husband. It's touching, it's moving, it's beautifully written, and I definitely connect with this. What I like about Sarah is that she doesn't get caught in the rational mousetrap. When it insists that if characters change, it means the furniture remains stable. Sarah isn't afraid to be abstract, and I definitely admire her for this, and I think her work is very original, and that is the reason why. All right, that's quite enough. We get to the point. So, yes, thank you very much for your words. And I believe, again, it's all the time that we have. Cheerio. I'll be asking her exactly why she chose Sarah Rule as her person of choice. That doesn't make sense.